Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Wright. I just want to touch base with you real quick on our week 2 agenda. I got to Zoom with my even day classes yesterday, but the odd day classes are not getting to Zoom with me this week because today is our scheduled Zoom day and it is a scheduled teacher in-service day. So I just wanted to touch base and make sure that everybody was on the same page and good for this week. So I have this opened up to week 2, September 14th, and so this is what you have to do this week. I am in a student view right now because I think this is important for you to understand if you're logging in and you're like, I can't see the assignments for this week. Well, the reason is because you'll notice that in gray here, there's a must view item. So in order to be able to click on these other items that you see in gray and complete them, you have to first have started here with our weekly plan and lesson objectives for the week. So if I click here, this brings you to our weekly agenda. It has our learning objectives, which by the end of this week you should be able to complete the pretest, which shows me how much background knowledge you have in psychology. It is ungraded, so you don't need to worry about what grade you're going to get on that. It's just for me to kind of show a base of knowledge, and then at the end of the semester we'll take a post test, and this will allow me to see how much you have learned over the semester. So no pressure at all. You do not have to know the answers. I'm not expecting you to know the answers. Do not Google answers. Don't look them up. It's purely a pretest. All right. Participate in our first Zoom session. So some of you got to do that with me yesterday and some of you won't. Unfortunately, we'll do that next week. Describe a range of topics that are covered in an introductory psychology course. And oh goodness, I made a spelling error. Yes, teachers make mistakes too. So yeah, we're going to talk about a wide, you should, by the end of this week, after looking through your textbook and doing some of the activities I have this week, you should have an idea of what psychology is all about. And lastly, by the end of this week, you should know the difference between physiological and cognitive needs. So our essential question that we're attempting to answer is, what is psychology? And here is your weekly plan. So we are in Chapter 1, Section 1 of your textbook. Today is Tuesday, September 15th, and it's a teacher in service for primary elections. So I kind of broke it down. Even day classes, you Zoomed with me on Monday, and you got your Zoom link and passcode in the classroom materials folder. Wednesday's independent work, and Friday, I'm going to attempt to have next week's section up for you to kind of pre-read and preview, at least anyway. Odd day classes, unfortunately, no Zoom this week. So you're doing independent work on Tuesday, or you can use Tuesday as a day off. Technically, if you weren't in school, it would be a day off. Thursday's independent work, and Friday's the same preview. Next week's section in your textbook. All right, so your weekly assignments. For those that participated in the Zoom with me, we did a little true-false test your intuitions group activity. We did this on Zoom. For those that did not get to participate in the Zoom, you don't have to miss out. I have that posted in 2 places. It's on the PowerPoint for this week, and I also have it posted in a separate PDF document in this week's folder. So if you do the PDF on your own, you can kind of go through and write down your true-false answers. And then if you go into the PowerPoint will actually give you the answer so you can check and see if you were right or not. Again, ungraded activity. It was just a fun kind of introduction to psychology, just to kind of get you thinking about psychology. Not graded. You do need to read pages 7 through 13 in your textbook, and you'll use these pages to answer the questions on the guided reading assignment, which I'll show you when we get back out of this page. You are going to read a document, which is a PDF, How to Think Like a Psychologist, and The Wild Boy of Aberon. They're both one PDF, and you're going to use those readings to answer questions that are actually on the PDF worksheet. I am not collecting this. This is not going into Schoology. It's not a grade this week. We're going to go over those answers on Zoom next week. So make sure wherever you write them down that you have them accessible to go over. Watch this week's video lesson. If you're watching this right now, you're doing great. You're on it. All right, you can check that off. And then review PowerPoint slides should be slides 1 through 18 this week on your PowerPoint. All right, so assignments are due Thursday, September 17th. I think we all know that by now after completing our Getting Started quiz and watching our introductory videos last week. So assignments, you have 3 this week. So number 1 is the pretest. Please complete first before you do anything else, because I don't want you to have learned something and then find the answer for the test. It's like I said, strictly a pretest. So do this first. Again, completely ungraded, so don't feel stressed or anxious about it. Number 2, answer the questions on this week's reading, Think Like a Psychologist and The Wild Boy of Avalon. All right, and you're going to hold on to those answers for our Zoom call. And then number 3, formative assignment is the guided reading activity. This should be completed on Zoom this week. Or on Schoology this week. All right, so I'm going to get out of here and go back. All right, I'm going to switch out of my student view so you can see what the rest of this will look like. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm now back in my teacher view. And what I want you to notice is that I can now click on the psychology pretest. It is no longer gray, and the guided reading activity is also clickable and is no longer gray. This is because it's my view, but once you click here on the Start Here, Lesson Objectives, your pretest will open up. Once you complete the pretest, the guided reading activity will open up. It will no longer be gray and you can click on it. All right, so you have to do them in that order, and once you complete them, each thing will open up. All right. Your PowerPoint for this week is right here. Pretest completed in Schoology. This is the Test Your Intuitions PDF. This is the one I said I did on Zoom with my even day classes. So you don't have to print this. You can write just true, false in a notebook, or you can print it. It's up to you. This one does not have the answers. If you want to know the answers, you will have to go into the PowerPoint and you'll get the answers there. If for some reason you did not get a textbook last week with the textbook pickup, Chapter 1 is right here, and there is a PDF of it, so you have access. Let me see if I can open that. All right. So you have access to your textbook right here, everything you need for Chapter 1, pages 7 through 13. All right, this is going to go into Section 2, but don't read beyond that. Stop at Section 13. We're just doing Section 1.1, so you can stop here in your reading. All right, so if you have a textbook, you don't need the PDF. If you do not have the textbook, that is available for you. If you would like to get a textbook, I posted this on the announcements, but Coach Long has my extra psychology textbooks. They are in the library. You can come whenever it is convenient for you during normal school hours. So that's Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 3:15. And he will assist you in handing out a textbook. He's even here today, Tuesday, September 15th. So you can come by today on your day off if that's convenient for you. All right. Here is the readings that I said you were going to do this week. The How to Think Like a Psychologist and The Wild Boy of Avalon. There's the questions that you're going to answer for How to Think Like a Psychologist. You can print and write the answers right in here, or if you don't want to print, write them in a notebook and hang on to them for our Zoom session next week. All right, How to Think Like a Psychologist, and here is The Wild Boy of Avalon, and there are the questions associated with that. All right, they're short readings, not very long. Hopefully, it doesn't take you too much time to get through. And then lastly, you're doing your guided reading once you've completed everything else. Once you have read in your book, you have reviewed your PowerPoint, you've done your pretest, you've done these other activities, you can open up the guided reading. And if you are previewing it, all right. Hold on 1 second. There you go. Okay, this is a preview, so you'll get an idea of what the activity is. So Use your textbook to answer these questions. This is not a quiz. This is not closed book. Use your notes, use the PowerPoint, use your textbook, use your resources. So the type of behavior that cannot be ignored is called what? Is that physiological or cognitive behavior? You decide, and then you move on to the next question right here. So you've got true, false, you've got some matching. I do want to draw your attention over here. Any of you who maybe need some accommodations, or even if you don't have accommodations through the school, but you would like to see some resources that Schoology has, you can change the color scheme to make it easier for you to read. So if you prefer, I don't know, the colors to be, let's go yellow and navy, there's your color scheme, and it will change that for you. Font size, normal is 100%, but you can make this as large as you want or as small as you want. Let's go ahead and make it large. And you can also zoom in on your screen by pressing the Command and plus button, or zoom out with Command and minus, and you can reset your zoom. If you go too far one direction, you can do Command 0, and that'll reset it to its normal functions. And so there we are in our blue and yellow, if that's easier for you to read. You can also flag questions right here. All right, this question will allow you to be able to come back to it later on. You can unflag the item if you need to. You can also go full screen with your guided reading assignment, and you can review. So we can see right here we have flagged question 2, so I need to know I need to come back and get that one. Okay, so just a little help. You can do this on the pre-test. You can do this on the guided reading. You can do this with any assessment that you're doing in Schoology. So it does not have to be doesn't have to be just this guided reading. All right, I hope that answers your questions. Good luck this week. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Have a great day.